Okay. I'll give the floor to Madam McIntyre from ECR. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Mr. Dombrovskis, I'm here. As you've obviously indicated already, you're aware that social dialogue mechanisms at EU level can be quite different from social dialogue mechanisms at member state level, in that social partners have the right to adopt Europe-wide collective agreements which can be given legal effect by the relevant Council of Ministers. Where such an agreement is concluded by the social partners, the Council can accept or reject a proposal, but they can't amend it. In the last plenary session of the last Parliament, we adopted an Employment Committee report entitled How Can the EU Create a Hospitable Environment for Businesses and Startups to Create Jobs? Among other things, this report called on the social partners to embrace smart regulation tools, to increase the use of impact assessments in their negotiations, and refer agreements proposing legislative action to the Commission's Impact Assessment Board. Can you tell me if you would be willing to look at how social partner agreements could embrace the smart regulation tools at EU level?
Well, thank you for this question. So, as regards social partners' autonomous agreements, it's certainly the right of the social partners to come up with autonomous agreements, both horizontally at EU and level or at sectoral autonomous agreements. And certainly, once this autonomous agreement is in place, and there is a request from social partners to translate into legislation, Commission should be working towards this, but clearly impact assessment of autonomous agreements as well as impact assessment of any other legislative proposals has to be done to cover different aspects, economic, social, regulation, so that we, at the end of the day, we arrive at the balanced proposal, at the balanced result. And certainly I am very much willing to work together with Commissioner-designate Marianne Thyssen, also to study Employment Committee report and to look how we can move this system of autonomous agreements and their impact assessment forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Ulla Torenes from the ALDE Group. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Chair. I also have a question on the social dialogue. So far, I'm very satisfied with your answers on the importance of the social dialogue, but I would like to refer to what happened at the plenary debate in July, when Commission President-designate Mr. Juncker said that he considers it necessary to have minimum wages in all member states and that he will take actions in this direction. But according to the treaties, and as you have already referred to yourself, wages are the competence of the member states. So I would like to ask you, Mr. Dombrovskis, which measures will you take to ensure social dialogue and the competences of the social partners if the Commission takes initiatives in relation to minimum wages?
Thank you for this question. So, as regards minimum wages in all member states, this is certainly the proposal of President-elect Juncker, to which I also fully subscribe, that we should be encouraging all member states to set minimum wages. And we can do it so through country-specific recommendations. And this is, and also through the dialogue with the member states concerned. Of course, we are fully aware that there are different social dialogue models, and in certain countries, especially there is a tradition in Nordic countries, where there is a very strong social dialogue, there is a tendency that minimum wages are set by the social partners. So certainly we're not going to do so against the will of the social partners if there is consensus between both social partners that there is not need. But generally speaking, certainly European Commission would encourage member states to have minimum wages. Thank you.
I'll give the floor to Eduard Kukan from EPP. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Commissioner, I recall one of your written answers in which you wrote that you are going to encourage member states to have their labor markets more responsive, open and inclusive. I want to say we all know that European population is aging, and we need to guarantee those who are more than 50 years old and socially and economically active that they are not being discriminated against on the labor markets. So how would you ensure that this policy action is taken into account, the aging of the population, and how can you assure an effective cooperation with the social partners in this respect? Those are my questions, and I wish you all the best and success in your future work.
Thank you, Mr. Kukan. On labor markets and aging. Aging is one of the main challenges European social and economical model is facing, because it's quite clear that it's easier to sustain a social model like this with growing populations, or at least populations with a stable age structure, than with aging populations. So it's quite clear that we need to look how we adopt our social systems, how we adopt our employment systems to the reality that Europe is aging. And it's very important in this regard that we really promote and encourage people to stay in a labor market if they can so, and also provide targeted support to those people which are in pre-pensions age and which often have difficulties to find a job, so have a possibility to do a retraining based on requirements of their age group and labor market possibilities, so that those people really can stay as active as possible and as long as possible in the labor market. But this is very serious challenge, and this challenge is going to stay with us for years and even decades, and we will all have to work together to seek policy response to this challenge. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll give the floor to Jutta Stein.